Alright, so you're probably asking, why would you ever bring a shotgun out on a fishing trip? Well, here in the South, we have birds that I call water turkeys, but their official name is a cormorant, and they're a nuisance to a lake, and they can actually come in and take over. They fly in the South, and they eat all your bait fish and your bluegills, and they can really destroy a lake in a short amount of time. So my man Fred here, his job today is to try to run them off, shoot them, do whatever we can do to kind of get rid of some of these and help get these birds out of this lake before they destroy it.
And here we go. Get 'em, Fred. There he is. Got him.
Alright guys, it's pre-spawn here in Alabama, and I'm going to show you some techniques that I use that really work. And this is what I call the Hundie Rig, and I say that because it works 100% of the time. But all joking aside, it is a really good technique to catch pre-spawn bass, and specifically to find out where these fish are at. So I'll just show you, for instance, I'm going to target areas that are maybe 40 to 50 feet off the bank, and in the pre-spawn, these fish, the water temps aren't hot enough to go spawn yet, or warm enough, so they'll sit out here in what I call the prime real estate. So just say if there's a stump sitting right out here, 40 feet off the bank, there's always going to be a fish on it. Even if you pull up and you catch that fish, 30 minutes later, a day later, there's another fish is going to move in. These are paths that they use in the spring and kind of staging positions that they sit in. And the thing that I like to do is throw a really tiny lizard. I use a mustad grip pin hook, and that hook will keep that lizard head from sliding down, so that's a really cool hook for this technique. 8-pound test line, a split shot weight, and a spinning rod. And I'm just going to cover all of this area, and I'll catch a lot of small fish using this technique, but it's really good to let me know what depth they're holding in, because the water's still cold enough so they could be sitting out here in the deep part. They could be, just like I said, 20 to 40 feet off the bank. I don't really know yet, so I'm going to use this rig, find out where the fish are, and then I may swap over to a chatterbait or something and try to go for one of those bigger fish. But this is really successful because it's a finesse presentation, and in the wintertime when the water's still cold, or pre-spawn, they're not necessarily wanting a heavy meal. They're fattened up over the winter. They're looking for something light, and this is just small enough and just tempting enough to get them to bite it. So let's see if we can catch some with this technique, and then we may swap over and look for something big. But I have caught big fish on this finesse presentation before, so let's try it out. Oh yeah, and don't forget the secret sauce. I always use it on my soft plastics. Make them hold on to it. Here's one. Got her. No giant, but we'll take it. Probably the #1 question I get asked on my YouTube channel is, have you ever caught a small fish? And of course, I catch a bunch of small fish throughout the year, but a lot of them don't make the cut. But I'm gonna make sure that I show you guys some dinks in these videos. Little dinks, but still just letting us know we're just trying to key in on where they're hanging out at and hope to get into a big one soon. So just a quick look, I probably caught that fish 50 yards off the bank, but the fish that are hanging out here are probably going to move up into that cove there this spring, and that's where they're going to spawn at. And that's the #1 problem I see in people fishing in the pre-spawn. They go straight to the banks, but a lot of the fish are still hanging out here offshore, so it's just takes a little bit of time to find them, but it can be rewarding.
There he is. Got him. Pulling a little drag for a little guy. I like it. A little June bug lizard. Come on in here, buddy. There we go. A little male bass. Got pretty colors on him. Good little technique with my lizard. Now I'll show you one other technique I like to do. I call it a dragging technique. What you do is you just flip it out behind the boat, and if the wind's blowing, you just let the wind carry you. But if not, you just put the trolling motor down on the slowest speed and just drag it along. Every now and again, cut it off. You know, you're wanting that split shot to be sitting down there on the bottom, and you're wanting that lizard to kind of be bouncing back there on the other side of it. And I've had some good luck doing this, especially if I don't know which area to target. I'll drag and until I get a bite, and then I'll slow down and start casting and trying to pick a spot apart. But we'll see if they're up for dragging technique today. Got him. Let's see, what do we have here? Feels like it might be a decent little fish. Not a little dink. Still fun catching them. You notice how far I was off the bank right there. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Information, not necessarily big bass right here. This thing's a fighter. Come on in here, buddy. There we go. Little healthy fish. All right, well, I think that's enough to kind of tell us what we need. So we're gonna put this one back. Here we go. Oh, yes, sir. That's a nice one. Finally got in one of them good females. She got some power to her. I'm just gonna take my time and let her run out. Come on in here, girl. There we go. It's a nice springtime fish right there. That could be a big male. Man, these fish are confusing me. If that was a female, she should have some eggs. So that's probably just a nice male right there. But hey, we'll take it on the Hundie Rig. Can't beat that. Alright, now I've figured out where they're at. Located them. Might swap over to a spinnerbait or chatterbait and try to get a real big one. But my rig did its job. First fish out here, pre-spawn techniques. Chatterbait. little search bait, trying to figure out where they're at. Nice little chunker, female. Yep, that is a good way to start. Females are moving up. We'll take it. No red tails. You can tell she's getting ready to pop. There we go. Oh, that was not a good female. Jumped up and spit it out. Hey, we're on a little bite here. Alright guys, I'm gonna end today's video here. I did end up catching some really nice fish, but I'm gonna save that. It's gonna be a whole new video in itself. And it was all thanks to this new rig I showed you. So hopefully you can go out and use it and find some pre-spawn patterns in your area. But before I end this video, I want to show you some typical spring lures that you're going to see me using this upcoming spring. Spinnerbait, that's the rig I was just using. Swim jig, chatterbait. Now these are all really good baits for the springtime. Another chatterbait, and then something like a big, that's a custom painted bluegill. And if you want to see me use any other techniques or whatever for the springtime, just make sure to leave it in a comment below and I'll try to, cover those techniques. But make sure it's a shallow water springtime technique. So get ready folks, I'm pumped up. It's finally spring, the fish are finally moving up, and you're definitely going to be seeing some big bass caught on our channel. So guys, get out there and go catch some of these springtime fatties.